Our forsythias and lilacs making a jungle out of your yard. We're going to show you how to prune these spring flowering shrubs and tame the beasts. Before we start pruning this forsythia, let's look at a couple things. Anytime you stick your head in a shrub like this, you're going to want a pair of safety glasses to protect your eyes. Branches can pop up and poke you in the eye. The other thing we're going to need is a good sharp pair of bypass pruners. Something like this will handle most of the work we need to do here. If a cane is larger or difficult to reach, you could try a pair of loppers, which are very handy to have. And you may also want a pair of gloves. It'll help avoid getting accidentally nicked by the pruners or the loppers, and also any sort of pokey branches in there. It'll kind of keep your hands safe. So when looking at this forsythia, some of the things we want to consider before we get started is the total height of the plant when we get done, and even the width. So there's two sorts of cuts we're going to be looking at. The first one is removing some of these taller canes to bring the total height down. And then if the width of the plant is a problem, look at maybe heading back some of these other canes here to bring it all back to a manageable level and something that you can tolerate in your yard. Well, I'm done working on this forsythia here, and you can see that I've made it more compact. And by also taking down its height and taking out some of these larger canes, we're going to get new growth, which next year will give us new flower buds, since this plant blooms on the old wood or the previous season's wood. So I would expect this shrub to flower more than the two on either side of it, which we didn't prune. Ideally, this will give you some clues in how to deal with some of your forsythias in your yard. Next, we'll take a look at some lilacs. Now that the flowers have faded off of the lilacs, we're going to look at how we can manage this really large shrub, how we can bring it down to scale without making some really obvious pruning cuts to it. What we'll try to do with this is take some of these larger canes down, and what that'll allow is light to get through the entire plant, which will give us a fuller plant. We won't end up with leaves just on the outside, on the perimeter of the plant, but we'll have leaves throughout the plant. And again, it will encourage more flowering next spring by keeping this process going. Every year going in and doing some caning as what we're going to be doing. Doing some caning every spring after the flowers will give us a fuller, smaller plant. As far as timing on pruning of the forsythia and lilacs, we want to wait until after flower. Remember not to take too much out each year. With the forsythia, we took a lot out. That's not something we're going to want to do every single year. We want to maintain certain energy levels in the plant. So that may be every third or fourth year going in and taking that much out. With the lilacs, you're going to want to take out a certain number of canes, about a third of your largest canes every spring, and that'll help maintain the size of the plant and also encourage good flowering.